everybody. You're very welcome to this brand briefing. I'm thrilled to have Kevin Surace on from TokenCore. We're going to be talking a bit about stuff we saw and heard at Black Hat and all the good things that the team at TokenCore are working on to help us secure and leverage our identities in all the ways that they're being built and delivered these days. Kevin, good to have you on.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
And I just want to get started with, well, let's start with this. I mean, you've been on the show before, but just in the off chance folks haven't connected.
If they haven't watched your show with me on it, that they should go back and watch it.
That's the first step.
This is session 2.
Exactly. I'm thrilled to have you on, but maybe a brief overview of your role at TokenCore and what's going on there.
Sure. Token is it's TokenCore.com, but Token is because Token.com was taken. Token is a company focused on biometric identity and specifically wireless, easy to use biometric identity. The vision is turning out to be right, but the vision from 14 years ago was that if you didn't tie everything in the future to biometrics, AI was going to eat your lunch. In 2021, when I was telling people that just 5 years ago, they'd still look at me and go, "What do you mean? We've got MFA, we've got auth apps, everything's fine." And, everything has come to pass. Every single thing that you could lay out has come to pass. And AI is making identity hacks, not only the top hack, about 90%, according to Palo Alto Networks, but easy en masse. They're just kits. Teens push the button and they get access to really any company's goods, and then they initiate a ransomware request, and much of the time they're getting that money. So it's a bad situation, and it is being fully stopped by our products. But when you don't use our products, not fully stopped. That is actually unfortunately true, and it sounds like a marketing thing, and I'm not in marketing, but you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean, and I mean I've been in this space far too long to claim the number of years, but I've seen identity kind of cycle. Gets important, gets off the radar, gets important, off the radar. It's important again, and I think we're going to get into some interesting things here. That, I mean, SMS was a way for second factor, and that was said. It was said to not rely on that, and so we moved to MFA with other get access to things. What's the reality?
Yeah, well, the good, for several years we were out there saying get off of MFA and auth apps, and what we would hear from companies that were not thoughtful about it was, I don't know, I'm using this auth app from Microsoft or from Google or from Cisco or from, it doesn't matter who, right? Oracle or from Salesforce. So it must be secure. Well, they are very, very easy to relay attack. That's just one of 15 attacks on MFA and auth apps.
Describe that for folks.
Sure, I will. It's incredibly, stupidly simple, actually. You don't have to be technical to do it. You have to just borrow a kit at $200 a month on the dark web. Here's how a real-time relay works. So you get a phishing email. You're one of 10,000 employees at this company. You're one of, 1,000 who have access to interesting data that could be ransomed, right? You get a phishing email, you don't realize it's phishing. It came from DocuSign, or it came from some other source, including internal in the company that you think is proper, right? There are no links in the email, but there's an attached document. It's a PDF. That already gets through all of the phishing filters. Now, another reason it gets to the phishing filters is every email is different and literally targeted to you. And they do that by gathering information from the dark web and gathering information from LinkedIn and Facebook and other places. So your email is targeted to you. It looks like it's for you. And it says, for example, you need to you get this PDF. It says, please log into the company employee portal to update some record or something. You go, and by the way, I might not do that. And Sean, you might not do that. If I've got 10,000 employees, I guarantee, and by the way, I only need one person to do it, but I can guarantee you about 35% will do it, no matter how much training they have. And the data are clear on that. So I click on the link in the PDF. Instead of employee.amazon.com, it takes me to employee.amazon.con. I don't see the N. Now it's a pixel perfect site. Pixel perfect. Why? AI created the email. It also created the site. But this is a spoofed site, and it's a spoofed relay site. So I go there, I type in my login ID and password. It's unclear whether they needed that or not, but those login ID and password get relayed to the real hacker who, maybe they're in Russia, it doesn't matter where they are. It gets relayed to them. Now, some people would say, well, I'll see this IP address logging in from Russia, I'm going to block it. They're not logging in from Russia. They've tunneled to a server in the US. So forget that. It looks like it's coming from down the street. They type in their ID and password. The real application comes up and says, what does it say? It says, use your auth app to authorize yourself. Okay, that comes over cellular or Wi-Fi and comes to the person's phone. The poor person at the actual company gets an auth app request, which they expect. And it says, is this you? And you say, yes, it's me. Or it says, here's your 4-digit code. Or it's doesn't actually matter. They literally authorize it. Now, they may authorize it literally with their face or with anything, or just doesn't matter. They authorize it. Who did they let in? They let in the hacker, because all your authorization devices for these kinds of auth apps work over cellular and Wi-Fi. So they work around the world. It doesn't know that request came from 10,000 miles away. So you let in the hacker. It's literally that simple. Now, there are social engineering attacks that someone pretends they're from IT and they call you and they also get you to log in and they get you to hand them their MFA. And we've all been, or many of us have been on with IT and real IT. And IT says, look, or the bank says, look, we've got a problem. We're worried about your account, blah, blah, blah. We're going to send you a code. Never share this code except with us, the bank, or us, IT. And you share it. So you share it because they only have to develop 30 seconds of trust to get you to do that. So anything that a human can read or do can be shared. And that's the trick with that. So that was the end of MFA and auth apps. And Microsoft shut down one of the biggest servers that was doing this. And they found 96,000 successful hacks of the Microsoft auth app. After that, they sent an email to all their customers that says, by February 17th, 2027, no more auth app. No more MFA. You can't use it. Move to Passkeys. So this was some weeks ago, right? It took 2 weeks. Passkeys. Everyone who's listening to this is going, Passkeys are secure. It took 2 weeks for 39 separate hacks of Passkeys to be in the wild. Now, they are not, to be clear, they're not hacking the encryption of a passkey. They're playing social engineering tricks similar to the one I said, but quite different. A whole bunch of social engineering tricks to get you to log them in, or to get you to literally add them as a passkey, or to steal your shared passkey, because passkeys are shared between devices, they're stored in the cloud, or to actually spoof a service that says, I am that person with this passkey, but they've actually stolen the encrypted package and pushed it up. And they did it in a way that shouldn't be legal, but many of the services, including Entra, don't implement the entire FIDO2 spec. So, of course, it took hackers 5 minutes to figure out, oh, you didn't implement what's called a counter. So I'll give you a little bit more background on this one in Passkeys.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So in Passkeys, there's this thing called a counter. And a counter is if my thing logs into Microsoft Entra for the 888th time, the next time I do it is 889, and both of us increment, and they must match from the first time. Make sense? Well, unfortunately, free passkeys that are passed around in the cloud don't have a way to increment the counter because they don't know if another device did this, right? They don't have that back and forth communication. They're not sure. So Microsoft said, well, we'll just ignore the counter. We'll just let it set at 0 and leave it. So our devices, for example, send the counter information. Microsoft sees it, but doesn't stop you if the counter's wrong. So they're exploiting this by going, I'll just steal this passkey package, push it back up, and it'll let me in, and it'll think I'm that person, and it'll basically allow me to share that session ID, basically. This is a really bad thing. Now, it's stopped if there's a counter, because I'd have to increment the counter, and I can't decrypt the package. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to increment the counter properly because that's part of the encryption. That's why it was added. FIDO2 says you must use the counter on both sides. But WebAuthn says optional because we want to allow free passkeys to move around. Therefore, there's no counter. And so everybody's hacking the counter. There's nothing. It's so easy. So, the message is that passkeys are, today as I sit here, are probably getting an F like MFA and auth apps are. There are 39 ways in the wild right now. And in fact, we've published a lot on this, but Michael Grafnetter at Black Hat actually, from Spectre, actually went through 15 ways that are already seen in the wild to essentially, hack passkey and Entra. So that's not good, right?
Not good. And help me, because I'm a little bit ignorant in this space, but the passkey, is it connected and tied to a specific app, or is it?
That's the thing. So, well, yes, it is in that way. Like when you create a passkey for an application, it is bound to that application. So nobody's changed that bounding. They're playing with the social implications of either getting you to do it or stealing the whole thing and doing it themselves, or taking over your cloud and then using it, right? There's lots of ways to get access to a shared passkey, as opposed to, as you know, what we do is biometric hard-coded device. So you can't. By the way, one of the ways they're thwarting passkeys is they put a fake application on your phone, and then you think that is the real application. You go to the wrong application. Again, you're sharing something. They take it and relay it right in. Like, everything goes wrong when you've got something shared. So there you go. So there's two things. And the third thing at Black Hat, real quickly, and we could talk about Token for a second, is agents and securing agents. And at Token, we think the only way in the end you absolutely secure agents, just like you're securing humans. The only way we can secure you, Sean, or 10,000 employees at that company is dedicated biometric hardware, period, that has no apps on it. It has no screen. There's nothing to relay. The human can't do anything but put in their fingerprint. And it authorizes you. And that works with every major service. So it's true with agents also. If you have an auth for an agent to say anything above $1 million check, I want this human to approve it. So it goes to someone's desktop. It comes in a Slack. It comes in an email. It pops up as whatever. Another agent on their desktop, just cleaning up stuff to do, could authorize it. Or a bad actor can authorize it.
Because that's the instruction. Get this done.
Yeah, anyone can authorize. Like, it can be. So if you don't have a biometric gate, not only don't I know who exactly authorized it, any agent, a rogue agent, a good agent, a hacked agent can also do it. So without a biometric gate, I can't guarantee that the actual approver, say the CFO, is even in the room. I have no idea. You put a biometric gate, not face, not voice, because I think everyone knows they're hacked, right? They're like easy to hack in the next 5 minutes. So fingerprints we don't store in the network. That's why they're still secure. It's probably all we have that's secure. That and DNA. I mean, we start to run out of things after a while, right? But DNA is hard to process in 100 milliseconds, but fingerprint I can.
So interesting and troubling at the same time.
And troubling. But that's all the talk at Black. I mean, that's a lot of the talk at Black Hat. There's these
right.
two things. And at Token, this is what we have I mean, this is a token ring. There's a bunch of token different devices. That's a portable. There you go.
Describe the scenario and use the ring as because the ring is cool.
The ring is cool. Here's what happens. If I want to sign in fact, we got customers doing this. If I want to sign into Entra with this, not only can I sign in under 2 seconds, I can sign in both passwordless and ID-less. Literally, I can walk. This is Bluetooth. So I can secure Bluetooth. I can walk up to a machine. I can just do this. And it says, welcome, Kevin. Not the machine, just Entra. It could be the machine also. But Entra itself, or Okta, or Oracle, or Google, or Salesforce, doesn't matter, right? All SSOs were compatible with, all major applications compatible with, major banks compatible with. So if you want no user ID, no password, logged in under 2 seconds, there's nothing to steal, there's nothing to share. It's immune right now, knock on wood, from all 39 passkey attacks. All 39. They go after passkeys, they don't work with this. They don't work with any of our products. There's no known hack of our products currently, provided you set up your systems correctly. So, right. So for example, a way to hack it would be I can't think of a social engineering way, but like someone pretends they're IT. See, if someone pretends they're IT, you still can't log in that other person because you have to be within 3 feet of the logging on computer. And the reason is we only work over Bluetooth. So
Right.
and
you have the step off option for the fingerprint there as well.
Yes, it's fingerprint. It is within 3 feet. So you've got proximity. You've got bound to the original domain. But there's no way around the fingerprint. So there's no code that you could put in that says, I'm going to get around the fingerprint. There's a device out there that you tap it 3 times. It says, oh, just enter your code instead. Well, that's not biometric anymore. That's fake, right? So we don't allow that. Biometric is biometric. And in this AI world, whether it's today or it's a year from now, everybody's going to be biometric. There isn't a question about it, because AI is just too good at compromising everything else.
Look at that. We have to go back to the physical world to protect ourselves. Kevin, it's great to chat with you. Thanks for bringing all the insights on identity, and troubling as it may be. Thankfully, you've been working on this for some time, and I'm going to encourage everyone to connect with you and the TokenCore team.
Appreciate that.
And grab your own token ring.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. TokenCore.com. All good. And there is my token ring.
There it is. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Stay tuned. There's more coming from Black Hat, funny enough. And pleasure having you on, Kevin. Good to see you. And keep doing good things at TokenCore. Thanks everybody.
Thanks, Sean.